Welcome to On the Rise podcast. I'm Matt Ricker here today with Sam Polanco from the class of '02. He serves as the Senior VP Quality Engineer at BNY. Sam, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
So I wanted to get started by asking you a little bit about your Iona education. So you graduated in '02, and I wanted to ask you, how would you categorize your education here? What was your experience like, and where did it ultimately lead you?
I mean, it's great. Iona is near and dear to me. It has been for many, many moons. My career would have not taken off if it wasn't for my Iona experience. I have to say that, I graduated here at the then Hagen School of Business, and I graduated with a degree called, it was a bachelor's of business administration, where it had a concentration called IDTM, Information Decision Technology of Management. You know how many times I had to say that at college interviews or conversations with people, and they're like, what? Or that I went to Iona College. You own a college? What? So it was always these things that, to explain to folks. And they're like, what is exactly that you do? What did you study? And I go, oh, well, that's like, management information systems, which was great. It was an amazing experience being here at Iona. I've made lifelong friends. We are still in contact. Many of my fraternity brothers are still part of my world and my family's space. And I'm grateful for what I was able to gain from these connections here at Iona. So when I look at my past and also the future, I've always been able to give back. I won a Columbo Award here at Iona for community service, being part of missionary programs, through campus ministries. I did Nazareth's Farm a few eons ago. At this feels like, but it was just those are memorable stories that I've been able to embed in my life and my family's life. They hear so much that comes out, and everything's Iona this, Iona that, and I'm grateful to being able to share that with folks. So Iona was the key point of my development, I would say, and got me to the career path that I currently have.
Very, very nice. And, I'm so glad you mentioned your campus involvement. And, that is so important to students who are coming into college or a university now, because, without campus involvement, it's very hard to meet those lifelong friends, as you said, your fraternity brothers. Which fraternity were you in?
Delta Upsilon.
Okay.
And happy Founders Day to those who are listening.
No, that's great. And the fact that you were so involved, I'm sure that went a long way.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your career right now, and how did you decide upon this career path, and where did it ultimately take you?
So, I'm a senior vice president of quality engineering at BNY. BNY is the Bank of New York, founded by Alexander Hamilton, for those who don't know. A 241-year-old institution that has been a custodial bank for the banks of the world. We make money work for the world. And it's one of the things that I love about the bank. If you look at my career path and the trajectory, it started off where I didn't know what I wanted to do. And it wasn't necessarily a BNY thing. It was more of I'm at school, I'm working full time, I'm going to school full time. And, I was part of a journey where I felt that I had to be able to absorb what that meant. And in that path, right, I said I didn't want to be a programmer or a developer for the next 60 years of my life. And I said, I got to do something that's better than that. I got to create pathways to allow me to jump into different avenues if anything ever occur. So a key component is pivoting, right, and being able to understand at a young age that I needed to make sure that what I did allowed me to pivot in
Mhm.
different industries, whether it be in a financial institution like where I'm at BNY, or if I wanted to get into pharmaceuticals, or if I wanted to get involved specifically in education, right, in the educational domain and teaching people what technology looks like in this day and age. The world of AI is everything these
Mhm.
days. So
Absolutely.
there's so much that I wanted to make sure that I had a clear division where I can say, hey, I can put this hat on and quickly put this next hat on whenever I needed to pivot.
Mhm.
So it was great to see what I gained out of Iona. And I kind of attribute that to one gentleman here, actually two gentlemen, I should say, Jay Motes and Brother Devlin, right? If it wasn't for those two gentlemen, I don't know where I would be in this life if it wasn't for their empathic ways and then be able to support me in ways that I've never had before. And it's a journey. It's a true journey. And these guys gave me the opportunity to do so. So just a little quick history. Jim Oates, had an opportunity to do an internship at a then company called Donaldson Lufkin at Generette, and tapped me in the shoulders and said, hey, you want to come interview for us and get an opportunity to work? And I was like, what's corporate America? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't even know what I wanted to do with my time, with my life at that time. And I went to the interview, and it was a twofold where it was Jim loved what I had to say,
Mhm.
and I had a lot to absorb from the guidance that Jim provided. Brother Devlin was amazing because if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have ever completed school, right? And he has provided with open arms in so many ways that it gave me an opportunity to be who I am today. And I give those two gentlemen kind of the utmost of being able to share my path because of them.
Yeah. That's those are really nice stories. And as you know, Jim Oates is president of the alumni board, chairs the Gales Go Further advisory board, and really spearheaded the program here, the mentoring program, which we'll talk about a little later. And then, of course, Brother Devlin, he's still active here on campus, helping students out, and he really, touches a lot of students' lives, and has such a great impact on them.
I'm truly happy to hear that.
Yeah.
That's really great.
So let's talk about career advancement. In your experience, what are some common misconceptions people have about career advancement, and how can they overcome them?
So that's an excellent question because I originally, when I was in school, my thought process was, oh, immediately after I get out of college, I'm going to be the CEO of some company. And I didn't think about a 5-year plan, 10-year plan. I was like, no, it was within weeks that I was going to take over some company and become the CEO of them or the CIO. And that's a common misconception because it takes a significant amount of admiration, development, and educational backings to be able to get to that stage, right?
Mhm.
So we think that our career paths are linear, right? And there's so much more trials and tribulations that lead to the ups and downs of what happens, and sometimes you have to pivot. Uh, in some cases, you have to go through financial crisis, right, to
Mhm.
understand what's happening in the world. We recently went through COVID, which was
Yeah.
a pretty big event that occurred to our lives. I experienced the Y2K, 9/11. There are all these different major factors that could deter your
Mhm.
pathways, right? If you're not really capable of pivoting and be able to
Mhm.
accept how things could be or how they can be. So you have to pre-plan certain things. So as far as the misconception, I think that people think that as soon as you get out of school that you get everything you need, and
Mhm.
there's still a learning path. And every day should be a learning path and a curious path to be able to get you to the next stage of, hey, does my curiosity trigger me to think differently, to be differently, right? So I think having that mindset is important to be able to call that out. But the common misconception that I have from recruiting events or conversations with the younger generation is that they think that they are going to do all these things that social media is these social platforms are showcasing. And it's not, there's a journey for everyone, and it's not the same journey for everyone.
Mhm.
It's different. So it's a different timeline, different pathway, different scenarios, and you just have to make sure that you overcome um, the aspects of what is being told to you, and you make the best of it, whatever that means.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's great. So let's talk about the it factor. You've served in many leadership roles throughout your career with plenty of opportunities to lead different teams of people. Have you noticed a particular it factor that helps people stand out in the workplace or get ahead in their careers?
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, there's multiple it factors, but I love a curious mind. I love someone who's able to question certain aspects that occur to the questioning that's being delivered, right? In some cases, I know people who can talk in circles and confuse you in a conversation, and that means that there's a communication issue of some
Mhm.
sort. But in what I've noticed is that if you are curious in the sense of, hey, I want to ask multiple questions to be able to understand what I'm trying to solution or what I'm trying to uncover as far as understanding the problem statement. Those folks intrigue me in so many ways because now I'm in their mindset and I can see how they're thinking. I can see their thought process, and that helps me understand that this person is inquisitive and at the same time is willing to take risks, willing
Mhm.
to take advantage of certain things that are going on
Mhm.
in the line of questioning. And I think that this is something that I I see that it's a growth pattern for a lot of the youth. There are cases that I've seen where uh, you know, if you don't have that inquisitive mindset and you think you just have a skill set, and that skill set's not, it's just going to get you X far, right? It's not going to take you above and beyond.
Right.
But if you're able to research your own stuff, do your own work, and be able to call out uh, the problem and be able to solve for it, that's an amazing attribute to have. And I think that here at Iona, it kind of calls these things out with a lot of the programming
Mhm.
that they're doing these days,
Yeah.
and even in the past too. So I'm glad to see that that's still happening.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. So let's talk about Gales Go Further. You are serving as a mentor this semester, and you are a new member of our Gales Go Further advisory board. We thank you very much for your time with that. What has mentorship played in your career development, and how have you sought out mentors throughout your journey? I know you mentioned Jim Oates briefly. But yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, I didn't think of it having guidance from someone to be a form of mentorship. It was a little different for me because Jim, even the late brother Durning, uh, and also brother Devlin, all were sponsors of mine. Right? They helped me not just by telling me what to do, right, but they pointed me to the right directions, guided me, and say, hey, these are the things that I expect of you, right? And this is because you're a young gentleman. This is what you should be doing, right? This is the right way to approach things. This is who you talk to. This is how you research. This is how you learn. This is how you, I mean, all those things were pivotal of my aspects of who I am and made me who I am today, right?
Mhm.
So mentorship at the time, I didn't think I had, but and then I thought about it after being part of the Gills Go Further programming, I saw, wow, I did have mentors, but I didn't think of it in that manner. I always thought that they were sponsored because they were constantly guiding me and providing me and pushing me along to make sure that I'm making the right decisions
Mhm.
in my life and
Yeah.
I'm doing the right things. So when I think of it, I'm trying to give back in that same sense because there are things I know from my experiences in corporate life and also in school that gave me the skill sets that I have to be able to say, I can give this back, right? If I didn't have it when I thought I was younger, right, I'm now saying, well, I can give it back because I know I gained from it, right? So it's a way of me being involved, being able to support programmings like Gills Go Further, the Gills Connect. I have, at least 10 requests, I would say, let's say weekly now, to just reach out. Hey, I'm having questions. What was your career path? What
Mhm.
is your intention? How does AI look in the industry in the future? There was really great questioning that's been provided because of platforms that Iona has been
Yeah.
putting in foot, right? So
Yeah.
I've been pretty impressed by this, and I think I'm going to continue to sponsor uh, uh, future Gales of the world.
Yeah, no, we appreciate that. And for those of you listening that you're uncertain as to what Gales Connect is, it's a networking tool where it's similar to LinkedIn, but it's open to faculty, staff, alumni, and of course current students. And to create an account, you can go to you can either Google Iona Gales Connect, and the link will come up. And then for those faculty, staff, and students, you can create an account using your one login. So let's talk about your time here at Iona. What's your most favorite memory here? If you can do it all over again, would there be anything that you'd like to change?
Wow. Yeah, there's thousands of things that I can change. But I can't think that I want to change what I experienced here at Iona.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not to oversee what my pathway was or my journey. It 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 was completely memorable that I still
Mhm.
talk about it to this day.
Yeah.
I've gone to 2 master program, and I don't talk about it the way I talk about Iona. And when I mention it to folks, people are like, "Well, what was it about it?" And I said, "It was everything." It honestly was. It was the friendships that I developed. It was the education I gained. It was the internship opportunities. It was the collaborative work efforts that I had with multiple members, whether they were part of my fraternity or they were part of other club programmings that I had that were part of here. It was just everything I had was a positive experience. I currently have a nephew who's attending here as a freshman, and everything that I was been thinking about for the last, for when I was in Iona for the 4 years that I was here, he literally explaining the exact same thought processes. And I said,
Mhm.
"Wow, I think you're having a good year, aren't you?" So, I mean,
Yeah.
when you think about this, I'm very proud of the Iona spirit and the Gale Nation. Right, I'm really proud
Mhm.
of everything that has come about. I guess I got to tell you, it was everything. But if I need to single out one particular moment, was probably graduation day. I had the vice provost give me a hug. I had the president of the school, Brother Ligori at the time. He gave me a hug, and out of I don't know 600-700 students that were there, uh, I got a hug. I got a hug, and it was super memorable because like they can see my accomplishments, they seen my growth, they seen my aspirations. Right?
Yeah,
It
that's
was
amazing.
it was pretty amazing to see that, and then to be able to say, okay, I'm out to the real world. And I got a corporate job within weeks,
Yeah.
after graduating Iona. So I want to make sure that it was truly a memorable experience because I had loved ones there. I had people
Mhm.
who cheered me on,
Yeah.
and the whole journey was just an amazing thought
Mhm.
process. And I have friends to this day that I've made here at Iona that are a huge part of my life and my family's life. That their kids are hanging out with my kid, and then their loved ones are part of our families now. They're aunts
Yeah.
and extended aunts and uncles in
Oh,
some ways, and
that's
it's
so
it's just an
nice.
amazing. And I'm fortunate to be able to have that here.
Right.
Right.
Oh, that's great. Was there a favorite course or professor that you had while you were here?
Yes, yes. Brother Durning, I love that
Yeah.
man. That man has shown me resilience, tenacity. He showed so many different factors of educating me, and he was funny. It was Latin. I studied Latin
Wow.
the 4 years I was here,
Wow. Good for you.
and it was good because it's helped me with learning a lot of mathematics
Yeah.
components, or even when I was reading some law components, I was also understanding what Latin phrases meant and like. So it
Yeah.
was great. And Brother Turning, he was just a character. We would have a quiz every day. And
Mm.
that instilled in me. And I was like, oh, maybe I need to continue to educate myself,
Yeah.
quiz myself, question everything and be able to learn from that. And Brother Durning was just absolutely amazing in showcasing
Yeah.
this. And if you were late or not in class or you couldn't take a quiz, he would tear you up the next day he would see you. And
Mm.
that showed me his character. And I think that is what you gained from being here at Iona. You become embedded into the character of Iona's community, right? And then
Mhm.
Brother Durning was just an amazing person. It's sad that he's no longer with us, but I've learned so much from those 4 years around that gentleman that I
Mhm.
didn't anywhere else in other
Yeah.
institutions I've been part of.
Oh, that's great. So looking back, is there any advice that you wish you had received earlier in your career that you would like to pass along to others?
Yeah, yeah. So advice, I would say, I mentioned earlier that I worked full time and I went to school full time. It was a
Mhm.
very tough thing to balance. And I wish that someone would say, hey, don't work so hard. Go study, learn, travel the world, get to see, what history, the history that you're learning in school, right? The science, the Latin, the languages that you're learning in school. Go experience that in real life, in real time. And I didn't get to do that because I was so head down saying, I'm going to be the next CEO of X company, right? And not
Mhm.
Twitter. But I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that that the youth know and the next generation of Iona Gales is that just live your life fully, immerse yourself in these different experiences, and make sure that you try to give back in one way, shape, or form. I wish I would have been able to travel. I wish I would have done all these things. The study abroad program I hear is expanding. I didn't get to do that, and just because I couldn't afford it, I was working, paying for school.
Mhm. Yeah.
But now that I have an opportunity, I'm taking part of that, and I'm showing my little girl and her and our family that we can do that. We have this opportunity to do so. I worked hard enough to be able to say, not that I'm retiring anytime soon, but I do want to
Yeah.
say that I wish I would have been able to uh, pump the brakes a little bit so that I could focus on me
Mhm.
and then now be able to do more. But I'm grateful for the
Yeah.
experience and the opportunity there.
That's great. So let's end with some content recommendations. Have there been any books, podcasts, or other content that you've found helpful throughout your career that you'd like to recommend to our viewers and listeners?
Sure, sure. There a book that I learned and studied here that was given to me by my former roommate Dmitry Petrenko, who's now Novak. It was the seven habits of highly effective people,
Oh, yeah,
right?
that's a good one.
Dr. Stephen Covey,
Yeah.
and also I say atomic habits.
Okay.
We have to develop habits on a day-to-day basis, and it's just an
Mhm.
amazing perspective of how to ensure that you're staying ahead of it. I mean, there are
Mhm.
CEOs who get up at 5 in the morning to do their day, right? That's their day.
Mhm.
It starts, and you can pick up on similar habits if you are looking for a successful template or criteria, right? Podcast, there's so many. Definitely Simon Sinek's the A Bit of Optimism. It's a perspective on leadership, where we should start focusing our energies to be more of an empath, and be positive about what you do. You don't know everyone's story, so you don't know what's going on in people's lives.
Mhm.
That he showcases the beauty of being a leader and how to leverage that in
Mhm.
society. Jefferson Fisher's podcast, which is I think he wrote a book called The Art of Communication. I could be wrong on that, but it's a communication podcast that helps you understand. He's a trial attorney, and he deals with multiple perspectives of how to talk to people. And I think when we lose ourselves in discussions, we're not eloquent enough, or we're just saying whatever's coming to mind.
Mhm.
But he helps you hone that in and change your way. I think those are the ones that are pretty good to start with,
Yeah.
to call out.
That's great. Well, Sam, thank you very much for joining us today. And I know you recently spoke to some classes here on campus too. So we appreciate all you do for for us, for Gales Go Further, and for the entire alumni community. So we just want to thank you, and I hope to have you on again in the future.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Matt. Thank you
Yeah.
for inviting me and having this conversation with me.
Of course. And that's all for On the Rise podcast. I'm Matt Ricker. We'll see you next time.